Hello everyone. In this video we're going to talk more about circles, and we're going to introduce a very important concept about circles in a little bit. So up until this point we know that circles have a center, they also have a radius, as well as a diameter. Both of these two very important terms for what a circle is known for. When it comes to calculating perimeter of a circle, circles don't have a perimeter. They have an alternative term for that, and it's called the circumference. So the circumference is defined as the distance around the edge of a circle. And as long as we know either the radius or the diameter, we can find whatever the circumference is. Now, one term I will introduce, and this is a very important concept that we'll see much later on in mathematics, is the definition of pi. This is the Greek letter pi. The ratio of a circumference to a diameter is known as pi. If you take circumference and divide it by the diameter of a circle, you will get an approximated value close to 3.14. Now there is no decimal that is exactly equal to pi, but there is an approximated value, and the first couple digits of pi following 14 are 159.265. For the majority of our calculations, we will be using 3.14. So how do we find circumference? If we're talking in terms of the radius, it is going to be calculated as 2 times pi times the radius. And then in terms of the diameter, it is simply pi times the diameter. If we know one of the measurements of the circle, regardless if it's the radius or the diameter, we can find the circumference. And as mentioned before, the majority of the time we will be using 3.14 for calculating the circumference. We'll be using 3.14 for many other calculations later on in mathematics, but we'll get to that when we get to that. In the next video, we're going to calculate circumference for a couple circles. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.